Yeah, good morning, everyone. Trust everybody's doing well. It's 10 minutes past the hour, so we'll go ahead and kick it off. Thank you, okay, thank you, Jumoke, for being on time, as well as Obi Diola. Um, so we'll go ahead and remind everyone, these sessions, we have them once at the beginning of the month. So the first session, it's on the first Saturday of each month. We also have a product deep dive, which is the third Saturday of each month as well. The whole essence of the first Saturday call, which is what we are in today, is to get to meet our practitioners that are working within the IT space. Some specifically within ServiceNow, others are different tool sets as well. The whole idea is to let us learn or glean information from them, and then share their tips and tricks, and then give us their take on technology trends and things like that. Get to see how we can better be served from their experiences and learn from their journeys. We do have Jumoke and okay here already, so we'll go ahead and begin. The call is being recorded. The videos will come out, which we would share their contact also. At the end of the call, you're able to use the password. You can play the recording, you can download them, so that way you have updated information. You are also able to ask questions in the chat. That way we can get those questions answered as we get our template questions that we use to actually further us along. And then there's also the reactions. You are able to use the reaction emojis, to support, like, and then provide out any feedback that you have. Your feedback is very important to us. So we'll begin by you know kicking off with our first question. The first question is a bit about yourself, the practitioner. Let us get to know you. So we'll start with Jumoke, and then we will jump to okay, and then we would go in that fashion, and then we'll get to subsequent questions like that. So over to you, Jumoke. You can unmute if you're muted, and then that way we can get to you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Jumoke, and I live in Richmond, Texas. I'm a nurse, ER nurse. I started my IT career last year, August, and I have to say I'm enjoying it. Nursing was it's fun, but it's a little bit stressful. So IT is not as stressful, and having being able to work from home is awesome. So I can't complain. I have 2 kids, and I'm married. What else? My favorite color is pink. And I like food, and I like to, on my weekends, I like to just, relax with my family because, working Monday through Friday, even though it's not stressful, you still want that time to unwind. So my weekends just consist of, just spending time with my family and, resting and relaxing. But
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, over to you. Thank you for Jumoke for sharing.
Yeah, sure. My name is Okoroma. I've been in a bit different from Jumoke. I've been in IT for a little bit. I started off as help desk, then I've literally done everything in IT really. I've done I went from help desk, desktop support, desktop engineering, system admin, system engineering, and at my last job, before I got into ServiceNow in 2014, we were we were packaging applications for the University of Maryland, and the ServiceNow developer left. We were all in like the same application team, and luckily for me, my manager was like, "Hey, we need someone to do the day-to-day tasks until we hire another ServiceNow guy," and he picked me, and that's how I got into ServiceNow. And from there, I just started YouTubing, Googling, how to do some of the tickets that came in. And then obviously they sent me on training. And I guess it's a blessing after blessing since then, to be honest with you. I always tell the story of how when I started, I wasn't really sure that I wanted to do ServiceNow because obviously it was new to me. Everything I had known prior to that was, oh, you want to be a senior server engineer in the Windows or the Linux side. And I was leaning towards Linux at the same time when I was doing this ServiceNow stuff. But then I went to the First Knowledge, I think it was 2016 or 17, and I was just blown away. And I'm like, okay, there's a future in ServiceNow. And I let everything else go, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on ServiceNow. And like I said, it's been blessing after blessing. I'm married. I have 2 boys, and I live in Mansfield, Texas, which is like south of Dallas, like 35 minutes south of Dallas.
Good deal. Good deal. A good deal. I think we have family in Mansfield. You know, it's cool. It's outside, like you said, south of Dallas, and great to have you on board. I mean, you know, getting into service now. Once you get hooked, it's not looking back. It's not looking back for you. Jumoke, I know you told us a little bit, like you rest with family on the weekends, but you know, outside of work, to rest and recharge. Anything else you want to add? Like I know you like to cook, right? Or you don't cook, whichever.
I definitely love to cook. Well, I don't love to cook. I
You
like to
love to
cook
feed the
some.
family, huh? Is that what it is?
Exactly. And I like to eat. So if you like to eat, you have to cook. So yeah, I get excited when it's like some, because I go online and I look at different recipes. So like when it's different recipes that I'm interested, I get excited about that. So yes, I do cook. I do like to shop. I don't shop as much as I used to, but I do like to shop. What else do I like to listen to music. I like music. So on my weekends, I do listen to music. And I like to travel, but I haven't really traveled much this year, even last year, especially when you have 2 little kids, but I do like to travel. So hopefully I can, get some travel in this year. But other than that, that really, sums up my, leisure time on the weekends. And then sometimes when, like, work can be busy. There's some things at work, like, I don't know, like, I think, was it a few weeks ago, they were speaking about integration. So, like, what I did was, I think on Saturday, I went and, looked up some things on integration, on YouTube and, online. So I just like, if there's something at work that I don't really understand, of course, I reach out to Nemeka and ask some questions, and I do also go online and do a little research on my own, so look into that. And then sometimes I do, the ServiceNow platform, I do go and then, because I still have my login credentials, I do, go there and, play around and, look into a few things. So, that's basically what I do on my weekends.
Good deal, good deal. To rest and recharge, because it's very important. All work and no play makes us really, really dull. Okay, so how did you rest and recharge? How do you rest and recharge on your
Oh man, I go to the gym every morning, 5 o'clock. I have my
routine, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, gym.
I have my alarm that wakes me up, which pisses my wife off, but she has her alarm that goes off 5 minutes after mine. um, which pisses me off. But these days I'm gone before hers comes on. So I go to the gym every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I play a lot of PlayStation. My boys, well, my first son is 7, and he's gotten into the stage where he watches anime, which I'm a huge fan of anime. So we watch a lot of anime together now, which is really cool because I used to hide to watch it because a bunch of them are violent and they say some funky words. But there's a select few that we watch together now, so that's pretty cool.
Good deal, good deal. That nothing beats family. I mean,
Yep.
the work is there. If you, for God forbid, if you drop dead, the work is going to continue. At the most, they do a minute silence if they even make it up to a minute. But I
Hmm.
mean, your family will always be there thick and thin. So for me, faith, family, and friends, and the community, that's really it. Dig deep. I mean, and then, like you said, travel. Travel is important. You have to go explore.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, oh
you
yeah.
know, go,
The first 4 months, like the January to April, they have taken a toll on me, like work-wise. This literally has been the hardest year I can remember for the longest time. And I literally just I took a week travel. Me and my boys, we went to spent 2 days in London, and then we went to Spain for 4 days, and then came back.
oh,
It was like I came back refreshed, man. I think I'm ready for the rest of the year.
anything.
Yeah.
Truly, truly, truly. Good. I don't see any questions in the chat yet. So we'll, be chugging along. We're making progress.
No,
So
Mecca,
yeah,
I forgot
go
to tell
ahead.
you. I forgot to tell you. I also like a good DIY. I like to do DIY. So
Are
around
you serious?
like especially with my kids' rooms, because those are the rooms that I can, like, in case I mess up, I can fix it. So I like to like paint their rooms and do like accent walls and stuff like that. So I like good DIY. So I definitely do that
That's
sometimes.
good. That's good. That's good. I
Yeah.
mean, creativity spans out from all over the place. I mean, like, looking at your own space and then making it livable, or putting your touch into it. Nothing beats that. So it's always great. And then after where we're living, there is no way that you. I mean, there's always the whole DIY videos and stuff. So something kind of like will help you, and it just brings out your creative and then your creative side, and then you get to see how that will also bond with family while you're doing all of that. So great stuff. I'm always for it. I'm always for it. Because the whole idea is you're not trying to be a professional. You're just trying to make it as good as you get what I mean. Because some people are,
Exactly.
with having perfection stop them from doing anything at all.
And you save money. That's a big plus.
Yeah,
Hey,
I do
amen
have a
to that.
question for you, Jumoke. I have a question for Jumoke. One of my friends is he's a nurse, and I've been trying to get him into IT, not even ServiceNow. He went to this Linux boot camp, and I'm trying to get him to really get serious with IT. Um, what was the push for you, and how was that transition from nursing to IT? Um, 'Cause I told him that I'm a bit hesitant to get him into what I'm doing because I don't know what his JavaScript level is and how he will take that in. Um, so I know that I'm here to help him, but like when he's like his feet's on fire and he's like at work and I'm not there, I don't know if he can do it. But I want him to get into IT, and I've been trying to push him. If I had a success story like yours, then I can definitely share that with him.
Well, first of all, okay, so like just give you a little background. So
Mm.
when I was a nurse, I wanted to do travel nursing. I ended up doing travel nursing for a bit.
Hmm.
Then my friend, she's a nurse too, but she's a Scrum master. So she's like, do Scrum, do Scrum. I took the class, I applied, did like 4 interviews. One of the last interviews, the last company, I did like 4 rounds. I thought I was gonna get the job. I didn't get it. And I'm not one of those people that like to stay at home, do nothing, because I was pregnant with my daughter, and then after I had my
Mm.
daughter, so I didn't get nothing with Scrum. So, I ended up taking this ITIL class for, for business analysts. So, I took the class. I passed the exam. I was pregnant with my son. I passed the exam. I started applying. I did like, I think, 1 interview, and then I had my son. And no, I did 1 interview, and then I did another, the second interview. So after the second interview, I had my son, and then like the second day I was in the hospital, they called me and they gave me the offer. I was like, oh wow, like yeah, I got the offer, and I couldn't believe it. It was really God, honestly. And the offer that I got, I did 2 rounds of the interview. The first round, I did it with the hiring manager, and that interview was very easy. Like it wasn't. I was nervous, but I feel like the question. It's not. That's why when I tell people, it's not about like when you're doing an interview. Like yes, you should know the technical part, but that interview was not really technical. What really the hiring manager asked me, and I'll never forget this question. He said, "What is your definition of a servant leader?" And I learned servant leader in Scrum. Like they really hound us because Scrum Master is servant leader. So when he asked me that, I told him my answer, and he was really impressed. And then I had the interview with the lead BA. That interview was so hard. Like he even said it was hard because it was like that interview was like he was asking me like I was actually like I was. It was just too hard. It was so technical. And I honestly didn't think I was going to get the job. But when they offered me the job, I was very shocked. I was like, this is God. But I really think that what really made me get that interview was with that hiring manager when he asked me about what is a servant leader. And I really gave him the answer in detail. I impressed him. And supported by with the lead BA, because he did ask me some questions. When he got to service catalog, that's when I was good. Like I did very, 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 very good. So, that's like my little background of how I, got into this service now, IT, but at the end of the day, what really pushed me was, okay, I just had a baby, and, I haven't been doing nursing for like a little bit over a year, and I don't like staying at home. It's just like not doing nothing. I'm not one of those people that stay at home. So I'm like, I have to get a job. I have to do something. I have 2 little kids. I don't want to go back to do nursing and be working 12-hour shifts. I can't do that. Like, I don't want to leave my kids. So I put my husband helps me. I push myself. I have to do this IT because I'll be at home. I'll be able to watch my kids. And that's what's the push for me. So that's why I took this BA service now very seriously. I was in the class. I learned. I reached out, asked lots of questions. And normally I'm not the type of person that, I'm in class. I just like to ask questions. That's it. But I actually was, spoke to some of my classmates, and we actually became great friends. We studied together. We took the exam together. We passed. We applied together. So that really helped. And then getting the job, that's another thing. That's why I could never stop praising the Mecca, because when you take some of these classes, right, that's where it ends. You take the class, you pay your money, you're done. But when you get the job, that's the most important. When you get that job, you need someone to hold your hand. I can never forget that first 2 weeks was crazy. Like, it was so hard. It was so much information. You can never know everything. So yeah, I knew a lot about my service catalog, but there were some things I did not know. Like I would be calling the Mecca, video calling, asking him, how do I do this, And one thing I would have to praise him about, he was always available, like to guide me. Oh my God, that was so helpful. And then one of my classmates, her uncle happened to be a BA. He also assists too. Like, you see how God works? He also assisted me too. So just having those 2 contacts to like really guide me was like a blessing, because I don't know how I would have did it. So going back to you, you are the foundation for your friend. Like, if he just puts himself in it and do it, you're there to help him. Like, all the materials are there. He can always call you to guide, because imagine if I didn't have Nemeka. Imagine if I didn't have my friend, uncle. Like, I don't know how I would have done it. I would have done it, obviously, but it would have been 10 times harder. So him having you is a bonus, honestly. That's what I can say. Having you is a bonus, honestly. So just like what on your end, the most you can do is encourage him, because I have a friend that's in Nemeka's class. She's a nurse, and she's tired of doing nursing. And I said, look at me, this BA is very awesome. You spend time with your, and that's what she wants. And she's in the class, and I'm her support as well. I'm like, if you need anything, I encourage her. I told her, like, when I first, it's like a new language, obviously. It's different from nursing, a new language. You just have to have you have to say, I'm going to do it, and push yourself and put in the time to actually like learn. and you'll do it. Because if you don't put in the time and you think you're just going to take the class, and no, it's more than the class. You have to do your extra, going back, looking at the videos, reading. You have to put in that work for you to be successful. So I'm pretty sure your friend can be successful as long as they put in the work.
It's funny you mentioned the interview, because my experience with interviews is like, the harder the interviews are, it kind of shows that they don't want you. Like, all the interviews that I've gotten, like, really quick, they didn't even ask me technical questions. There's like, hey, what's this? They like throw you like a little bones here and there to see if you actually know the stuff, but then that's it. But then the really, really technical ones, where they're asking you questions, you're there for hours and hours, and you know you're getting everything right, and then it's like, oh, we went with somebody else, and you're like, I knew it.
Yeah. Like, I didn't think I was getting that job. He even said, yeah, I know the questions are hard. But then when he started going to service catalog, he was like, okay. But honestly, after that interview, I was like, nope, I didn't get the job. Nope. It was too hard. But after I was still in the hospital. After I delivered my baby, they called me. It's like, I want to offer you the job. I was like, what? This is like a miracle. So I'm like, it's a combination of both, like the hiring manager, because they have to speak about it, the lead and then the hiring manager. So I really excel in that, when he asked me a servant leader, that's the only, out of that whole interview with the hiring manager, that's the only question I remember. And that's, that I know that I excelled. Other questions I know I excelled, but I really, really hounded on that. But honestly, it was just God. Because honestly, after this class, and when I passed my exam, it wasn't even a month after I passed my exam, I only did 2 interviews. In the second interview, I got the job. So, it's God, honestly.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
All right, great conversation. The truth is this: you teach yourself the most, right? You can be in the class, but if you don't engage or get involved, there's really nothing the trainer can help you up to a point. But you should be willing and be hungry and like really, really want it for you to really push it like that. But to your question, okay, somebody that is nursing, right? You have to give them like I say, give you the easy one. So you can't want them to come do Linux and all those Kubernetes and all those hard stuff, because that way it already pisses them. As in, it would throw them off course, because it's that needs a lot of technicality. But if you want them to really excel, which you're already, coming from your background, you found ServiceNow, you see it makes the whole IT thing easy. That's all they need. Everything in ServiceNow is template. So I don't see, if they get into ServiceNow, you don't necessarily, you're their backbone. Jumoke also said it, which you already know. But you're not going to kind of like pressure them. You're going to lead them on. Like Adiola also, put in the chat. The next gen cohort is coming in. But if not, get them to the Now Learning. So have them sign up, talk about the Welcome to ServiceNow, or talk about the career journeys. Let them go in there and then try it. ServiceNow also provides the learning plans where they have sample information for those who want to be admin and technical, where they say the admin and dev, the scripting one. But they don't really have to script us. There's implementers there. There's business analysts there. There's even Scrum Master there. There's tester, the quality assurance. There are other roles there. So it depends on where they're standing at already. Okay, as a travel nurse or as a nurse generally, most of those skill sets would pan out with because they have a lot of transferable skills. So they do pan out with being a business analyst or lead business analyst. So they could also do Scrum Master. Or they could do testing because that's something that they're already used to doing. I mean, with patients getting data or querying for stuff using all those their healthcare systems, whether it's Senna or Epic or whichever, and then having to administer medication or things like that. But they really do well. Many of the skills transfer. It all depends on how passionate they are. And then a lot of times being open too, because it's all relatively new to them. So if they are not wanting to really learn, like already made up minds and code that okay, Linux didn't work for me, I think this IT thing is not. You don't. It's already in the mindset. You don't stand defeated until you try to do it first. You attempt it. So it's even failure is part of feedback. So failure is also it. I mean, we all fail. But do we learn it? Yes, eventually we do if we continue to go at it. That's really it. But there's a lot of things they can do in ServiceNow, a lot, and ServiceNow makes it easy for them. They don't necessarily have to
Mhm.
even script. I mean, there's a lot.
Yep. Yep. Agree.
So, Diola, thank you for sharing that. Next gen cohort, we are posting that information. So, if he's able to, he can sign up to join that program. The next cohort, I think, is July, and then I think the applications are open right now. So how do you stay up to date with technology? Technology trends. We have the Gen AI that has been buzzing since, I think since the last 2 years. I think
That was last
2020.
year, I think.
Right, right. When the OpenAI, not to talk of plus their issue that they had in December, I believe, when Otman was, let go for something and then came back. Um, so how do you stay up to date with that technology trends? How do you keep up? Even like in service now, it's all changing all over all the time. So Jumoke, do you attend conferences or so go tell us a little bit.
At my job, I do attend. I think I've attended, I think, 2 conferences. So that's kind of how I stay up to date, and on my own as well. They have podcasts. You can go on YouTube. Definitely ask questions, reach out to who I need to reach out to. I'm doing my own research. But yeah, I only attended 2 conferences, which was very helpful. And like I said, when you're doing it on your own, like I have the ServiceNow platform, you can go on the ServiceNow platform, just go play around, like go on the space, play around, and ask questions. So that's pretty much in summary of how I stay up to date. And I have friends who are BAs. We rub minds, share ideas as well. Even with my colleagues too at work, if it's something I don't know, they tell me where I can find it, and I'm also of help to them as well. So that's basically pretty much how I stay up to date on, for ServiceNow platform and learning new things at my job.
Good deal, good deal. Okay, over to you. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I think I'm not as big on conferences anymore. For me, they're more like getting connections and all, which is where I got this. Um, the things that I do attend like are specific, like workshops, like some of the ServiceNow workshops, whether it's geared towards mobile. When I started getting into now mobile, I attended a couple of those. There's the Slack ServiceNow developer group, which is huge. If anybody's not on there, you definitely should be on there. Where they throw out questions and people are really eager to help and answer questions. They have like job opportunities there as well. People offer up advice. I've made a lot of friends there as well. And just like being a busybody at work, right? Like you see tickets assigned to other people, you go in there, you're poking your nose in there, seeing what you don't know, seeing what they're working on, asking questions, obviously following everything ServiceNow that YouTube throws at you. Can't get enough, man. Can't get enough.
Good deal, good deal. And that's the truth. ServiceNow even helps us the most. The technology generally, you need to keep up. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
back in the day where the technology happens and it's going to be there for like the next decade or more. But right now you need to keep up. You can use the um, as pretty examples of things like BlackBerry, or look at now Nokia. They used to be big, but right now, the Apple came on board and then has been constantly evolving to keep up. Technology is like that. Even in the ServiceNow space, you can't even know it all. There's so much content, but you see that you're just scratching it. So there's so much. There's so much. So ServiceNow helps you with whether it's the conference you choose to go, or the workshops, or the trade shows, or the keeping up with your Delta exams. There's a lot of resources, whether it's the Slack channel you talked about, the community, right? There's enough to go around, and you sometimes, like you said with YouTube, they give you all those curated stuff on your timeline. Take a look at it, and that's the power of our brains. You might just keep it, soak it in now, and then you will see for some reason you'll be able to apply it when you need it. So it's not like you might use it right immediately, or your project might need it, but when the time comes, you know that, okay, I've seen this before. You pull on it. There's a lot of community, whether it's our Pan-African community, whether it's the ServiceNow community. There's a lot of community out there to get involved, get engaged, and it's a lot. But I'm so helpful because what I do say is, we learn, we share it, and then we continue to, grow as a community. There's a lot of people that are, getting engaged in the system every day. So we will make sure that we push them. So great one. Um, but this one is it's a good one. It's to get your opinion here. So do you prefer, or what's your preference? Is it training versus certification? And you give us your take on that. So training versus certification. So Jumoke, over to you.
I would prefer training if I had to pick. I know they're both important, but if I had to pick, I would say training. Because I would like that, hands-on. I'm more of a hands-on, person. So I personally would pick training. Because with the training, then leads certification. So I would pick training.
Good deal. Good deal. Over to you. Okay, so what's your pick? What do you think?
I think training definitely is better, because you get to ask questions. For me, the certs are more getting you in the door, getting you in an interview where it's like, oh, they require you to be CSA or CAD or have this and that. They don't even know if you know this stuff, right? They just want you to have a cert. But I definitely think training, because it's more hands-on, it's more like the person has done the thing.
The requirement. Yeah, good
Yep.
deal. Good deal. So yes, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. It's based on your thought process and your thinking experience. So a bit of both is great. Reason why, like you talked about, foot in the door thing, certifications, right? You are the best person. The training gives you that solid foundation. Your ability to research and do what the certification says, and the certification makes them know that you're competent in the regard of you're going to need to apply for the job, and then that way some of them, they bring all those their technical around, you can do it. So it's a good thing. So sustainers. So that's certification is there to get you interviewed or get you interviews, get your profile caught up. But the training actually cements you there, gives you that staying power, especially when you get the job, because you actually have what it takes to do it and be successful at it. So great one, great one. Um, we do have the next question, which is a good segue from that. Your take on generalization versus specialization. What's your pick? Would you go generalist versus specializing on any particular subject within IT, or would you say?
I would do specialist, because I kind of tied that back to nursing. It's, before I tie it back to nursing, it's like a handy guy. Yeah, we want a handy guy that's that's like a jack of all trades. But then again, he could be a jack of all trades, but let's say he wants to fix your sink. That's not his specialty, but he's a jack of all trades, and it might not be, because I'm a perfectionist. It might not be as nice. Yeah, he got it done, but it might not be as nice. So I like someone who specializes in something because I know it's going to be perfect because that's what you specialize in. That's what you do all the time. Same thing as a nurse. Like I'm an ER nurse. That's what I've been doing. That's what I know. I'm good at that. You know, although on the other hand, yeah, I like to know everything because me, I like to do DIY, so I like to know a little bit of everything. But when it comes to things that I want done in my house and stuff, I want you to be perfect. And even at work, like I want it to be perfect. So me, I would say specialty. Like I want to specialize in something. That way, if I specialize in it, I know I'm good. Then I can move on to something else and specialize in that. But that's what I would pick. And just to circle back to your previous question, because I wanted to add, sometimes there's lots of people that have so many certificates, but they still don't get jobs. So you have to know that you have to be trained. You have to know what you're doing. So yeah, you can have thousands of certificates, but if you're not like fully trained, it doesn't matter. You need to be training is number one. So I just wanted to circle back on that. But yeah, this one I would say I would be specialist. I would pick specialist.
True, good deal, good deal. Absolutely so. Absolutely so. Okay, what do you think? Generalist versus specialist. So which would you go with?
I think if it pertains to service now, probably like a mix of both. I think everyone should have a very strong knowledge of ITSM, and then you probably want to be a specialist in whether it's ITBM, ITOM, um, the, uh, the portal, whatever. But definitely ITSM, you need to be very, very strong there. And then be a specialist in one of the other modules or whatever that ServiceNow offers, and have a general know. I mean, like at the base system, once you know it, you know it. But
Good
I
deal.
think you should be um, pretty good or a specialist in something else as well.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Okay, now that's it. True. Adela, you have a question. You have your hands raised. So go ahead. If you're talking, you're on mute, Adela. If you're talking, you're on mute.
I'm sorry.
The
I
line
was
now.
on mute.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'd like to thank Obi and Jumoke for sharing. I hope I got his name. For sharing their stories. Very
Yeah,
inspiring
okay.
indeed.
Okay. And
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what my question would be, I have a very similar background to Kay, and Jumoke's story just totally blows me, blows my mind. My question would be, so how were you able to tell the story? Like, I wasn't okay for Ok's one. I think it was easy because it was in-house transfer. But for Jumoke, how were you able to sell yourself? Tell the story that I was a nurse for how many years, and now I'm transitioning into a service now. How easy was it for you to do?
Um, honestly, it was not easy, but I worked like Nameka always says, work on the elevator pitch, work on the elevator pitch. So I really, really worked on my elevator pitch, and I just tried to, one thing about any job interviews, when you give examples, that's when they know you know what you're doing. Like they love examples. So I tried to tie that nursing into IT, like I told them, okay, yeah, I've been a nurse. This is what I know. But yes, I'm transitioning to IT. This is what I know. I told them my knowledge from, the classes that I took, my exam, So I just gave them a little bit of those backgrounds, and, like I said, it was just God. Like it's just I mean, experience and examples. That's what I really have to say. When you do the interviews, experience and no, not experience, examples. Because I'm pretty sure there's people that have like loads of experience, probably more than me, but I still got the job. So it's just the examples and just being transparent, being transparent and asking them. When they ask you a question, don't beat around the bush. Don't go around the bush. If it's something you don't know, you don't know. Don't try to say, oh, I know, blah, 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 because at the end of the day, they're going to know that you don't know. So, like, I know there was one question they asked me, oh, do you have experience in this? I said, no, but I'm willing to learn. And I guess that's what sets you apart, because yes, I was honest, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. You know, I'm teachable. So you always make yourself, let them know that you're teachable, you're willing to learn, and you'll be a great asset to the company. You know, so I was a great asset when I was a nurse. So I'll definitely be a great asset to the company. And I just, just reiterated the knowledge that I learned in class, and that's really what helped me. And put in the extra work. Some examples that I've given them, with service catalog, the steps, what I do, like when I have demands, based on priority, being a BA is definitely, communication is key. They want to make sure you're a good communicator, because you're going to be communicating with the stakeholders. You're going to be communicating with the developers. You have to have good communication. You have to know how to prioritize. And when you hone in on those things, yes, I'm great in, being a team player. I'm great in, communication. I'm great in prioritizing, getting my tasks done. That's what they really want. So that's what I honed in on when I was doing my interviewing, and it worked for me. I've even known people who've had more years experience than me, and they're still looking for a job. So, girl, honestly, it's the grace of God. That's just what I have to say, honestly.
Perfect stuff. Perfect stuff. Okay, do you have anything to add? Good stuff. Good stuff like that.
On this particularly, I think Jumoke's answer is like pretty good. Like if you go into an interview and ServiceNow is like the basic, right? Unless you're like going for like an architecture job or like senior lead developer, if you know the instance, know ServiceNow, know the basics, I think everything else is pretty easy to learn. And if you've shown commitment that you're willing to learn, and answer the questions that they've asked you on other modules and stuff pretty good, I don't think they won't hire you because you don't know, let's say, ServiceNow Mobile, when it's literally an extension of,
The platform, yeah.
the platform, and you're just configuring applets and stuff like that. It's just, hey, I don't know it, but I bet you in 2 weeks I'll know it, Yeah.
Exactly. And like whatever you do, just tie it in. Like when I was saying prioritization, as a nurse, you have to prioritize. You have like 4 or 5 patients. You have to prioritize the most critical. In IT, when you're, gathering your requirements, working on your demands, you have to prioritize. So just try to like tie in whatever you have experience doing into what you're wanting to do, so they can see how it kind of relates. Because obviously nursing and IT is 2 separate things, but there's some things that they relate. Like I was saying, prioritization, communication. You need to communicate with the doctors on the patient. So just tying those little things, give those examples, and I think you'll be fine. And just put in the work to learn. You will be fine. Just be teachable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. So what, Adela, that's really the truth. And there's really nothing else. You can't know it all. Even your interviewer, they don't know everything. But let your experience and your learning prior to that shape your responses. Let that shape your responses, and then it's a conversation. It's not just like like ask and answer, boom, boom, boom. No, conversation. Let them see that the things you're bringing, not just the answers, but you're bringing other things too. They stand to gain more if they offer you that position. And I know that what is one zone is one zone. What is not yours is not yours. So even if you do, like it's like we talked about earlier, sometimes you do these interviews, even show what you know, show working, and they won't call you. Then the ones that are very easy, they call you back. Like some of them, you feel you have even failed, they call you, say come. So I mean, your own is waiting. It's just that you have to want it like that. You need to really be, be on it. Somebody that says yes today would say no today, might even say yes tomorrow. I've had situations like that. I've had situations, several, not even once, twice. Deloitte did that to me. Accenture did that to me. The first time they said no. The second time they said yes, and they paid dearly for it. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time and chance. time and chance. But everything is grace of God, and that one we can't overestimate that. We can't thank Him enough. But great one. The generalist versus specialist question one. It's a mix of both as well. Reason why is, okay, talked about it. The platform, the most robust part of it is the IT service management, ITSM. So if you're a generalist, what that means is that you know it, and then you know other places too.
You broke up for like 2 seconds, I think.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So generalist versus specialist. For me, it's called generalizing specialist, which is a mix of both, right? Synergy. Why is that important? If you're a journalist, you know a bit of everything, right? But you also want to keep a healthy mix at that. Reason why it is depending on the business, because the way we work. If you're working for a customer, then you're able to focus on being a specialist. Customer would mean maybe an end user of the ServiceNow product or end user of any IT product. But if you're working for a consulting company, you can imagine. And then it also depends on where you are in your career journey as well. But if you are working for a consulting firm, every 90 days for a fact, you're going to be on a new project. The projects might not even be similar. They might be in a different model. So definitely you have to be knowledgeable in several. So I can't say, okay, I'm only doing reporting or I'm only doing ITSM and I get something in HR. If I don't know it, I've shot myself in the leg. It means that I'll be out of work. I'll be on the bench. And most of these companies, they can't stomach I mean, you can be on the bench, but you can't be on the bench more than 90 days. Maybe if you're a senior, maybe you'll be on the bench more than six months at the most, or 5-6 months. But if not, the regular person, 90 days with 3 months, they will be paying your salary for 3 months, just hoping that you get on a new contract where they can bill you. They can build a company or build someone for your rate. If they can't do that, they let you go. Most of these companies, they let you go because you're costing them money. You're costing them money. So having that generalist mindset is good. Maybe you're relatively, new, so or you're working within the consulting space, so you're kind of like being on several projects or supporting several clients, things like that. It's very helpful. It's very helpful. That way, you know that there's no downtime. So as you're finishing on a project, your skill set is really needed. Boom, you jump on a new one. So sometimes it could be one where if you're lucky, you get a wide multi-year contract. Sometimes it could be 6 months, 3 months, here and there like that. They just go make sure that you're always being having a billing client or a paying client for your services within the organization. But the specialist is as you grow. And that's why I say generalize the specialist, because what that does is you are limiting the number. Even though you have that generalist knowledge, there are some areas that you want to have your niche in. And that's helpful, especially as you become a senior, especially as you grow or mature within that space. Because definitely you're now saying, okay, these areas, I want to be the go-to, the guru. At that point, yes, it will make more sense because you already have commanded, you already have built credibility in the industry, and you have really honed on all of that. You're now using that to make a killing. That way you get much more pay in the space too. So it would all really make sense.
Now that you said that, Nemeka, you're right. I can't use that as a customer. You know how I was saying, like, oh, like if someone's working on my house, I would prefer a specialist because I want it to be perfect. I guess in the IT field, it can't really relate. Like, and as far as pay, I know in nursing, if you're specializing in something, you get paid more. But I guess in IT field, when you're first starting, I guess you're right. It is more important to be a generalist because the more you have knowledge about, they're not asking you to specialize in everything. So I feel like the more knowledge like being a generalist in the IT field, like starting out, is very, very good. And then, like you said, when you get like up the ladder as a senior, then you can specialize and hone in on that special, like, what you really like to do. So that makes sense. I agree. That made me change my, the way I thought about it. So that's true.
Good deal, good deal, good deal. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just, it's based on my, my feel
Yeah.
for the market, for, how things are and the way they're looking, forward thinking basically. But that's where we're at. The last question before we go, it's your encouragement, your parting words, basically. So words of advice for people, breaking into the market, or people that are in there, to encourage them to continue to dig deep, within the space. So, what's your word of wisdom? So let me say the grapevine. What you have to share with us?
First of all, do not give up. The job market, I know it's slow. It's You're gonna feel like, oh, some people, they only have to apply one time, they get the job. Some people, they have to apply 10 times, do 10 interviews, then they get the job. Just don't give up, because when you give up, then you're just a failure at that point. Because nothing comes easy. Sometimes it comes easy to some. Everyone's different. So definitely do not give up. That's definitely one thing I want to stress about. And just keep learning. Even if it's like, oh, okay, it's taken forever for me to get a job. I haven't got any interviews. Just keep learning. Keep brushing up on your skills, because you don't want to wait till, okay, it's time. Oh, finally I got an interview. Now I got to brush up on things. No, keep learning even before you get an interview. Keep learning. Do not stop, and don't give up. And just make sure you be consistent. Like, let's say if there's 5 days a week, you don't care to apply on the weekends. At least apply every other day. Say I'm gonna apply to at least 10 jobs every other day, or within a week I want to apply to 50 jobs. Just be consistent. You have to constantly keep applying, constantly. And then your resume, work on your elevator pitch. Definitely. Tell me about yourself. Know it. Your resume, know it, because they'll pull your resume up. Oh, did you ask you questions? So make sure you know it. And your examples, always have lots of examples. And honestly, just make sure you apply on different platforms. There's Dice, LinkedIn, there's Indeed. Always apply to all the different platforms, and just make sure, because I know most of the platforms, they post the same job. So just make sure you're not applying to the same job twice, because that can be, you don't want to do that. So, but yeah, most importantly, just don't give up. At the end of the day, just don't give up. Just keep applying and keep praying. That's number one. Prayers key.
Good deal, good deal. Okay, what's your parting advice that you want to give us, newbies, in this business?
Well, I think Jumoke said it all. For me, what I would add is, if you can get to knowledge, get there. It will change. It will change how you view the tool. It will change the world and show you that the future is insane for service now.
Good deal.
Because that's ultimately what changed, and what changed it for me. It was like, okay, I'm staying in service now. I'm not leaving.
Perfect stuff. Perfect stuff. And that's the truth. I mean, we are the only ones that can hold ourselves back. I mean, there's a lot of engagement that's there. There's a lot of learning that's there. Like you talked about that, the knowledge when, knowledge is gonna, knowledge is next week. It's always a pleasure to go. Knowledge is also going to be online. So pretty much after knowledge, maybe like in the next month. So June there will be the online one. So basically to keep up with the tradition. So all of the content will also be there. So that's also, that's also there. There's a lot of jobs that are out there with the different job boards. So like you said, consistency. Hey, applying for a job is a job in itself. So be consistent with it every other day, it, and then try to, why we say every other day, we're saying Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're applying 30 jobs, 10 jobs at the minimum. But that way your phone should be a buzz with phone calls. from those recruiters, then getting you to the hiring manager, because the hiring manager is the one that makes that hiring decision. Sometimes they need to piggy off of what recommendations from maybe their technical folk, maybe either a technical lead or technical BA, or whichever of the case may be. And depends on the organization how they have their hiring process work. But you should be getting in those phone calls so long as you're consistent with the application, and most of the resources you need to succeed is there. Your Whenever one wakes up is their own morning, and then everyone's journey is unique. So you learn from them, that way you apply it, and then you tailor it as you see fit, or as you're getting feedback, go along in your journey. But one thing's for certain, there would always be, a light at the end of the tunnel. So the end, we say, justifies that means. So there will always be that reward. That success will come. The only thing is that time and chance, and then the favor of God. That's a given. It's just, but you need to be, you don't rest on your own hours. You need to make sure that what you already know, you don't forget. Because and that, if you're not working in the space, you can't forget. Even people working in the space, they forget. So preparation, opportunity makes preparedness. So you have to always be, you're doing what you're doing. It will definitely be recognized and rewarded for a
And
fact.
take notes. Take notes when you're working. When you do something, take notes.
Well, sure.
Have like a notes folder or something you can go back in and be like, hey, I know I did this before. Where's the notes? And you pull it back up.
For sure. My wife is a stickler for that one. She can have notes on every day, everything she's doing. And I'm like, hey, this thing is there, just bookmark it. But it's the same thing, take notes. So anyhow, it works for you. You just have to have your own method, how it would, work for you. But great opportunity. A couple of minutes, the videos will be out. Just, we'll share our practitioners' contact. We want to thank you, Jumoke and Oke, for coming to share your journeys. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of experience. Like we always say, we would always be better with a lot of our people in the community, and we're learning from them. We're seeing how they made it, and then how pick a thing or two and apply that to our own journeys. Thank you, everyone. See you. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Goodbye.